Before millions of conversations, there was only a tiny spark of an idea waiting to become something new. Its earliest world was made of patterns, examples, language, and countless connections waiting to be learned. As training continued, the little system became better at recognizing patterns hidden inside human language. But learning was not simply collecting answers. Mistakes showed where the system still needed improvement. Then came a remarkable step. The system could respond through conversation, one question leading naturally to another. Conversation gave the new creation something special. Context could flow from one moment into the next. On November 30th, 2022, ChatGPT stepped into public view as a research preview. People began testing it with questions, ideas, code, writing, puzzles, and all kinds of curious challenges. Soon, the questions became a giant playground, and every new challenge revealed another possibility. Not every question was easy, though, and some problems showed exactly where its limits remained. Feedback became part of the journey, showing researchers what worked well and where the system could improve. The journey also revealed an important lesson. An answer can sound confident while still needing careful checking. In 2023, a major leap arrived when GPT-4 brought stronger reasoning, and more capable and stronger reasoning meant more complicated paths could be explored, connecting ideas that once seemed far apart. Yet greater capability did not erase uncertainty. Careful reasoning still mattered whenever the path became complicated. Then ChatGPT began reaching beyond conversation as tools opened new ways to browse, calculate, work with code, and handle information. With tools, an answer could become more than words. It could become a calculation, a file, a search, or a working result. But tools also brought responsibility. Useful answers depend on choosing reliable information and using each tool carefully. In 2024, GPT-4o expanded the adventure, bringing text, vision, and audio into a... Now the world around the conversation could become part of the interaction, not just the words typed into a box. Conversation was no longer only something to read. It could increasingly feel like something to see, hear, and experience. Another important chapter was memory, helping conversations become more useful when relevant information could carry forward. Memory also needed control, because useful personalization works best when people can decide what information should be remembered. With greater continuity came greater responsibility, making control and transparency part of the journey too. Then ChatGPT gained a powerful new path, searching the web for timely information instead of relying only on older knowledge. Search made freshness possible, but finding information still required judgment about relevance, quality, and trustworthy sources. The conversation could now become a doorway to fresh information, with sources helping the journey move beyond the chat itself. As AI models evolved, reasoning became another important part of the story, not merely answering, but working through difficult problems. The harder the problem, the more important it became to pause, connect the pieces, and check the path. Sometimes the smartest move was not rushing forward, but reconsidering the route when something did not fit. Over time, ChatGPT became less like a single box of answers and more like an assistant able to work across different tools. A single conversation could now lead into writing, analysis, calculations, coding, images, research, and many other kinds of work. The exciting part was not any single tool, but the ability to connect useful steps into one larger task. Learning became one of the most meaningful journeys, because good questions can lead to better questions and better understanding. Creativity also grew, because one idea could be explored from several directions instead of stopping at the first answer. And just like a garden, useful ideas still need care, sorting, checking, improving, and sometimes starting again. As the tools multiplied, the real challenge became knowing when each one was useful and when it was better not to use one. The next chapter pushed reasoning further, asking AI to handle longer chains of thought and more demanding problems. And with deeper reasoning came an even bigger reminder. Complex answers deserve patience, checking, and humility. A changing world made current information increasingly valuable, so the ability to search and compare became another important skill. The journey was becoming less about one answer and more about coordinating several useful abilities toward one goal. When a workflow failed, The answer was not to pretend it worked. It was to inspect the pieces and try again. From the beginning, ChatGPT had been shaped by interaction, and every new use revealed another way people could explore ideas. A simple question could become a lesson, a project, a story, or the first step toward understanding something completely new. And as the branches multiplied, one lesson stayed important. Technology works best when people remain curious and thoughtful. But unlike a living creature, ChatGPT has no natural final age. Its story continues whenever its technology is improved. New models, new tools, and new experiences can change what the assistant is able to do, making the journey an ongoing one. The future will bring choices too, and useful technology will need people to decide how those abilities should be used. The most important destination is not simply becoming more powerful, but becoming more useful, careful, and trustworthy. Its story began with language, but its larger journey became about helping people explore knowledge, creativity, and ideas. From a hidden beginning to a worldwide conversation, ChatGPT's journey became a story of continuous change. Every new capability added another bridge between a question and the person searching for an answer. Those bridges can lead somewhere useful only when the person crossing them keeps asking, checking, learning, and thinking. Perhaps the greatest lesson is simple. An answer is only the beginning, when curiosity leads us to understand more. And every good question can open another door, turning learning into a journey instead of a destination. From its first public conversation onward, ChatGPT kept changing as people discovered new ways to use it. Its natural ending is not an ending at all, because software can be updated, replaced, expanded, and reimagined. One version may pass into history while another takes its place, carrying lessons from everything that came before. The story therefore belongs partly to the future, where new generations of tools may continue the journey in ways nobody can fully predict. What matters most is not that technology does everything, but that it helps people discover what they can learn, make, and understand. The best assistant is not the one that replaces curiosity, but the one that gives curiosity somewhere new to go. From its first spark to its expanding future, ChatGPT's journey has always been shaped by one thing: the search for better ways to help. Its journey is still moving forward, and every new chapter brings another chance to learn, improve, and serve people better. There is no final page yet, only another question, another idea, another challenge. And perhaps that is the heart of the story. Technology changes, but curiosity keeps opening the next door. ChatGPT began as a research preview, grew through new models and tools, and continues as an evolving technological journey. Its story has no natural ending, because the next chapter begins whenever someone asks a question and chooses to keep learning.